Oh, is there someone there? You needn't turn away. I was nearly finished. If you were on your way here to bathe in the brook, I should only be too happy to move along and let you... Oh, Castor, it's you. Well, in that case, there's nothing here you haven't seen before. Yes, would you be a sprite and hand me my dressing gown, please? Yes, there, on the willow branch. Well, I've tried to show the songbirds how to bring it over to me after my bath, but, you know, they really don't know how to work together. Of course they understand me, Castor. They just can't seem to agree. It's a bit like listening to you and Sora. Rather argumentative, but still a sweet song to my ears. Oh, Sora. She said she needed some time alone. A few days. All right, a week. I have been a bit lonely. It's been a long time since I've wanted to be alone. Will you walk me home? Well, that works out well for the both of us then. We're only on our way to the treehouse, so technically you aren't spending time with me there, so really you are honouring Her Majesty's request, aren't you? Oh, you know, this and that. I've gone down to the village a few times. I hesitate to use too much magic among the people, but little favours here and there can't do any harm, can they? Nothing much. Healing some minor aches and injuries. Carving a blessing rune on Flora's new home. Oh, you didn't hear? Yes, she and her childhood sweetheart. It's quite a charming little house, I think. You know the quay that juts out onto the lake just in front of her father's home? Yes, well, if you were to stand at the very end and look north, you know the funny little tree that looks a bit like... Yes, like a hobgoblin. You know the one. Yes, well, they built the most darling cottage just next to it, and they dressed up the tree as a scarecrow and planted a vegetable garden around it. Oh, yes, they seemed very happy to me. Her father was absolutely beaming. Oh, Peregrine. Well, you know, he's earned somewhat of a reputation. It seems ever since the Freemas festival, he's been the man about town. Unfortunately, that means there's a trail of broken hearts strewn throughout the village. I did have a talk with him, but I do wonder if my approach may have been a bit too soft. Perhaps you're right. I suspect if he thought Sora were coming to reprimand him, he might react differently. So, enough of my nattering. How have you been? You're looking well. Although, come to think of it, I haven't seen you since you and Her Majesty travelled on to visit the centaurs. Tell me, is it true the auger owls shed their feathers there into the scrying pool? Is that how they know everything? It is? What do you mean? What has that got to do with me? That's so strange that you remember that. So much happened that day. And you noticed that one small detail. You didn't really see anything, did you? Oh. Well, it was an artifact that I had been holding on to. I didn't want it to fall to the griffins, so I ran back to take it with me. How did you know? Did Queen Ruby tell you? Did she know I have it? Castor, how could you tell her that about me? Was she angry? Oh, good. I can't just give it to you. Because it's not mine to give. It's a long story. All right. We're here. Did you want to come inside? Oh, I forgot. Fine. It's a beautiful day. Come and sit with me beneath my tree, and I shall tell you what I can. I told you I am an exile. Yes. Thank you for never pressing me to tell you why, but I suppose it's time. You have trusted me with so much. I took it. Yes, but I promise it was only just the one little stone, and we needed it desperately. You see, normally we Seelies live for, yes, a very, very long time. But my mother... I was only a little girl, and I was playing in the forest, and something emerged from the darkness and came toward me. But she tried to stop it, and that's when it struck. She was trying to protect me, and it bit her, and the bite turned vile. She was sick for many years. But a moonstone has the ability to harness the healing powers of the moon herself and channel them into an earthly body, among other things, although they are very rare. Where did I... Oh, well, you know, Castor, it was my mother, and there are so few places that can be counted on for one to find valuable items and gems and the like, and you know, the nobility do have a tendency to talk amongst themselves, and so rumours do spread, you see, so it's rather possible that an attentive princess who listens to her elders at court might... Yes. I found my way into the White Dragon's hoard, and I stole it, using magic. No, I was too late. When I returned to the court, she was already gone. Yes, in fact, she did. She followed me home. She nearly burned down our entire settlement, but my father begged her for mercy. She did understand, but what I hadn't known, what I could not have known, fool that I was that Her Grace the White Dragon was ill herself and required the moonstone near her to live. And the moon went dark in anger. I'm not sure, but my father was furious, so ashamed. He banished me from court. He and the other elders set about making a fairy ring around the White Dragon to heal her. I'm not sure what became of it. I was so frightened and so distraught. I just packed up my things and ran before I had to face any of them again. Oh, yes. The stone. I hadn't realized. Sometimes, Caster, I do wonder about myself. You know I mean well, don't you? Yes, well, when I'd finally run far enough that I no longer recognized the trees, I stopped. I took stock of all the silly things I had thrown so carelessly in my bag. Yes, I did. Here it is. Such a small thing, but it changed the course of my life, as you now know. What does Her Majesty need it for? Is someone sick? I can help, you know. Seelies have very powerful healing magic. For most things. Oh, it's for you? Oh, Caster, you could have said that. You mean you just need to borrow it for a while? Purification? For what? Oh, how exciting. Oh, yes, transmogrification is very difficult magic. Even I can't shapeshift. Oh, I don't really change shape exactly for that. Well, it's a bit hard to explain. I do it instinctively. I'm still me, just lighter. Quite literally. My body becomes the blue light, but it's still my body. That's not what you're trying to do, is it? Oh, I see. Might I know what you're trying to change into? Costa, you're being so coy. You tricky little tease. How sweet of you to lighten the mood like that for me. Might I kiss you? Oh, yes, you may ask me a question instead. What would you like to know? Oh, the creature. The one who attacked my mother. No one would ever explain it to me. But I heard the elders use a word. Numenatra. I don't remember. No, it's as if my mind simply cannot hold the image. It's as if it were a... Yes, a ghost. Yes, Castor, I will still take a kiss from you. If you're willing to grant me one. And you may borrow the moonstone for as long as you wish. Of course. Here. I only want it back to see it return someday to Her Grace, provided she's still alive. I've been too afraid to find out. But I'm sure you're not, are you, Castor? You're so very brave and bright. I do so enjoy your company. Will you hold me, Castor, just for a while, until the owls begin to roost? Thank you. I hold a deep, deep affection for you, Castor. I should hope you were always this close. No, I'm not falling asleep. Maybe I am. Is that all right? What is it? No, there's no reason to be afraid. It's just a stone. I doubt you'll even feel anything. What do you mean? Oh. You're worried you'll no longer feel anything for her. Caster. If I've learned anything from you, it's that one shouldn't be afraid of the truth. If Queen Ruby has enchanted you to love her against your own will, you'd certainly want to know, wouldn't you? He did he? No, it wasn't, I promise. I did not put a love potion in your tea. Caster, if this centaur, Theomin, if he saw Seelie magic within you, it wasn't because of anything I did to you. You've been learning so much, and not just from Her Majesty. Yes. And so now it's time for you to use the Moonstone to find your own voice. It really will. I know it. Deep down. Here. Why? Oh, why are you frightened, dear heart? Well, yes, I suppose the unknown is a bit scary, isn't it? And you'll have a choice to make. Freedom can be terrifying. It seems much safer to stay within the confines of one's own little world. But, Caster, if I may, I know from experience, tragedy can find you no matter how well you think you've protected yourself. No matter how much you close yourself off from knowing what's real. Better to go out and face it. And then it's you who decides. Not fate, not death, not enchantment. You.